But for the one, do you see how the angles are across from each other? Those are called vertical angles, and they are congruent. So if this is 112, that means x is also 112. Go ahead. I don't. What does this little square in here mean? Right angle, that's worth how much? 90. So, and I'm not going to keep going back and forth between Desmos and the screen. That's going to get annoying. But how could I find x? Like, what am I going to type in? Yeah, you do 90 minus 68. That's going to give you what's left. So x equals 22. Looking at this one. Do you see how this is a straight line? Called a linear pair. Pair means two line, all right? Now that means that's worth 180. So if you do 180 minus 124, that's going to give you what's left. So, and again, I just tapped that in my calculator, or you could do that in your head. It's 56. 180 minus 124. Which 124, you need to stop talking over me. I will move you here so you are alone. You keep doing that. Is 124 acute or obtuse? Obtuse, bigger than 90. All right, here we have to find three different things. So we're going to find x, y, and z. I'm actually going to start with y because I think that's the easiest one. Do you see how it's across from the 43? That means y is 43. Those are vertical angles. They're congruent. Yeah, good. Now, do you see how this is a straight line? So if you do 180 minus 43, that's going to give you x, which is 137. Yeah, degrees. You can put in a little degree symbol if you want to. If you don't put a degree symbol on these, like I'm fine with that. That's and if x is 137, that means z is 137. Geometry is like that. There's a lot of repetition, so you need to not second guess yourself. All right, same thing for this one. We're going to find x, y, and z. I'm going to again start with y because I think that's the easiest one. Do you see how it's across from the 72? Yeah, okay, so that means y is 72. Isn't that crazy? Geometry is pretty easy. I like geometry. All right, now do you see how x and y make a straight line? So to get x, we're going to do 180 minus 72, which is 108. And then do you see this little square here? Yeah, that means this is 90. So if you do 90 minus 72, no, it's 18. Good job, is Z. All right, now here we're going to have to read words. So we're going to have to actually read stuff. Don't talk over me. D and E are vertical angles. That means they're across from each other, which means they are congruent, means they're the same. So if angle E is 105, that means angle D is also 105. Everything in geometry is either congruent, adds to 90, or adds to 180 is pretty much like what they all are. Right? So that's what vertical means, is that they're the same. Now this one says A and B are complementary. That means they add up to 90. So if A is 42, what's B? Well, if we do 90 minus 42, 48, close. This one says P and Q are supplementary. That means they add up to 180. So if Q is 64, find P. Well, if we do 180 minus 64, close. It's 116. You just didn't subtract the tens place there. All right, and then J and K form a linear pair. Well, a straight line is worth 180. So if you do 180 minus 113, it does end with a 7, just 67. But I love that you're trying to do it in your head without a calculator. That builds your number sense. That's good. All right, now here this is going to have some algebra. This is why you have to pass this class to move on to geometry. All right, measure of angle PQT. So PQT is this one. That's 3x plus 47. Go ahead and label it. Oh, whoops. I'm writing with pen, which I shouldn't be doing. So that's this one. Pull it together. Try. All right, and then SQR is 6x minus 25. So do you see how those are across from each other? Yeah, that means they're the same. We're going to set them equal. So you're going to set these things equal to each other. And again, when you get to geometry next year, your teacher is not going to teach you how to solve an equation. It's understood that since you passed Algebra 1, you would know how to solve this. And you guys are really good at solving these. We're going to minus the 3x. Yes. Yes. Actually, I'm going to put your pass in a second, and then when you come back, I'll write his. Yes. Keep you in the list. All right. So 47 equals what? What would we then have on the other side? 3x, good. Minus 25, good job. And then plus 25, I'm gonna have to come over here because I ran out of space. That's gonna be 72 equals 3x. And then divide by 3. X is 24. Let me make sure I did that right in my head. Yeah, X is 24. Now listen, a lot of times in geometry, they ask you for something else. They didn't just ask you for X in this case. What does it say? Just read it. SQR, that's this one. So you have to take 24 and plug it back in for X. So it's 6 times 24 minus 25. And I'm gonna just put that in the calculator. But do you see how I took 24 and plugged it back in? Like you have to follow directions. So you have to be able to read. 119 degrees is your final answer to the whole thing. Sticking with me here? Are you already done with it? All right. Great. Guys, now this is a new symbol for you. You haven't seen this symbol before, but what this means, that upside down T there, means that they are perpendicular. Perpendicular means they meet at what kind of an angle? Right angles. So you can put your little square in there. These are 90 degrees. So it says DCE, so that's this one in here, is 7x plus 2. And then it says ECB, so that's this little one, is x plus 8. Find the measure of blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that at the end. But what you have to do is take those two things, 7x plus 2 plus x plus 8, and set it equal to what? 90. Good job. Again, this symbol means perpendicular. That means they meet at a right angle. Have you ever seen that symbol before, the upside down T? You're writing this down with me? The respect thing. Have you ever seen that in middle school math? No. Okay, that means perpendicular is what that means. All right, again, it's understood you would know how to solve these. We're going to combine like terms. 7x plus 1x is 8x. Good. 7 plus 1 is 8. All right, 2 plus 8 is 10. Very good. I know this is super difficult here. All right, subtract 10. You get 8x equals 80. I ran out of space, but you would divide by 8. X is 10. Now, but they didn't ask you for X. You have to be careful. What did they ask you for? DCE. So look back at DCE. Do you see where I'm pointing? That's this one. We're going to plug 10 back in. So 7 times 10 plus 2, which is 72 degrees. So you just have to make sure that you read in geometry, because oftentimes, like after you seems like you've done, you have one more step. No, this symbol means that they're telling us they are right angles. That means it is a right angle. You're not testing. That the directions would be different then. It would be a different kind of a question. They would be like, check it. The directions would, you keep your hands to yourself. The directions would say like, this is this and that is that. Check and see if it is a right angle. But in this case, they're just coming out and saying it's a right angle. So you're not wrong, but like the directions would be different. No, if there's a square there, it means it's 90 degrees. Like it's not like a maybe, like it definitely is. Hey, when I'm answering someone else's question, it doesn't mean get your computer out. It doesn't mean talk loudly, okay? No. Right. KNM, so look at KNM is this one, 8x minus 5. So this one right here. And then MNJ, so you have to be really careful what you're reading. MNJ is this one right here. That's 4x minus 19. So those make a straight line. That means they are worth how much? 180. So you're going to take 8x minus 5 plus, the other one equals 180. Again, everything in geometry is either congruent, it equals 90, or it equals 180. Those are kind of like your only options. When you get to circles, there's a 360 in there, but basically you're going to be okay. All right, 8x plus 4x, 12x. Those will be negative. -5 and -19. Negative. Good. See, you guys are good without a calculator. You've built your number sense so much this year. I'm super proud of you. All right, plus 24. So 12x equals 204. Good job. And then you would divide by 12. I ran out of room, but I'm just going to type that in the calculator. 17. I wouldn't expect anyone to do that without a calculator. I typed it in. Now, that's not the final answer. You have to read. What does it say to find? KNM. So let's look back over here. KNM is this one. So yeah, 8 times 17 minus 5. So let's see what that is. Again, I'm just typing this in my handheld calculator here. I don't feel like switching back and forth between Desmos, but 131 degrees. So can I talk about that for a second? You can have angles that are thousands of degrees. What happens is you go around and around and around and around and around until you, like, how once around is 360? Like you would just keep on going. So looking at this one, you have to be careful with the letters it gives you. DEG. So DEG is this one. That's our 5x minus 4. Please don't whistle. And then GEF, so that's this one, is 7x minus 8. But wait, there's more. It says DEH, so that's this one on the bottom here, is 9y plus 5. So listen, when you go to set up a problem, you can't have both an x and a y because you don't know what either of them is and it won't be solvable, okay? So we're going to have to set up an equation just with the x's. So look where I'm pointing. Do you see how this and this make a straight line? Like, do you see that? 180, okay? So you're going to take 5x minus 4 plus 7x minus 8 equals 180. Again, in geometry next year, if you're not sure, pick 90 or 180. All right. And no garbage on my floor, okay? And then we're going to just solve that. And again, this is the assumed knowledge. Like when you get there, your teacher's going to assume you know how to solve an equation because you passed algebra 1. So 5x plus 7x, 12x. Now these are both negative. Hands to ourselves. Minus 9 and minus 8. Minus 12. Oh, so I think I said it wrong, but I still wrote it correctly. Minus 4 and minus 8 is minus 12. I think I verbally said it wrong. Thank you, but I wrote it correctly. All right, and then your next step, yeah, plus 12. So 12x equals 192. Divide by 12. Oh, really close. Whoever said that, it is 16. Now it says find x and y. So actually we don't need to get the measure of an angle, but we do need to find y. So we're going to look at these two that are across from each other. If they're across from each other, then they are equivalent. Congruent is the word we use in geometry. So we're going to take this 16, plug it back in for x for this one. So it'll be 7. You know what? I'm going to have to come down here. I ran out of space. 7 times 16 minus 8. So I just plugged the 16 that I got back in, and I'm going to set that equal to 9y plus 5. So again, vertical angles, they're across from each other, they're congruent. This I'm going to just put in the calculator. So if I put this in the calculator, 7 times 16 minus 8, that gives me 104. So again, I just tapped that in. All right, what next? Yeah, minus 5, so that's going to give us 99 equals 9y And so y is 11. And we don't have to plug that in because all it asked for was x and y, and we found x was 16 and y was 11. So we can stop there. Okay, so number 14 says R and S are complementary. What does that mean? They add up to
180.
close. 90. So you're going to take 12x minus 3 plus whatever the other one is, 7x minus 2, and set it equal to 90 and then work it out. Do you write that down with me? Cool. All right, so 12x plus 7x is 19x. Negative 3 and negative 2 is negative 5. Good. Equals 90. Plus 5. So 95. And then you would divide by 19. Again, I'm just slamming that in the calculator here. Does anyone want to give it a guess? Way smaller than that. 5. Good job. Now, does it ask you for x or does it ask you for something else? Measure of angle R. So you have to look back. It just involves reading. So look at R is this 12x minus 3. So we're going to plug 5 back in for that. So it's going to look like this. 12 times 5 minus 3. Does anyone know 12 times 5? I'm just throwing it out there.
Yes.
It's 60. It's 60. 60 minus 3 is 57. So 57 degrees. All right, last one. P and Q are supplementary. That means they add up to 180. So you're going to take 4x plus 1 plus 9x minus 3 equals 180. So that will give you, let's see, 4x plus 9x be 13x, 1 minus 3, negative 2. Good job. And then, what would you do next? You would add 2, so 182, and then divide by 13. Want to give it a guess? Oh, you were so confident in that too. All right, now did it ask for x or did it ask for something else? Q. Okay, so look back. You just have to read. Angle Q is 9x minus 3. So you're going to take that 14 and plug it back in. So 9 times 14. Oh, that was really close. It's 123.